guys are hot, man. You get out here and come to Nashville. Boy, fantastic, guys. I'm really impressed, man. Boy. We got more questions? Yeah?
Who influenced you most as far as your country playing?
As far as my country playing, Roy Nichols would have to be it, I would say. You know, because the type of solos that he plays, let's think if we could do one here. Okay, I want you guys to play me a 12-bar blues in G, kind of with this kind of anyway, that gives you an example. You see, his playing is not just hillbilly, although it has those elements in He also does a lot of so his shit isn't just like it's not just like that kind of stuff. You know, he's got more, I don't know, more interesting flavor to his stuff. So he's my biggest influence. Yeah.
What tension strings are you using?
What, gauge me?
Yeah.
The tension's loose, man. This is a great guitar. And they're 10 through 46 Ernie Ball, regular Slinkies in the pea green package.
Yeah, I was going to ask, you said you got out of here after playing jazz for a long time, and went and found that you really could make a living. What are your views, opinions on checking out the commerciality and stuff, and where you feel education fits in with like other styles and actually making a living out there?
Say that one more time now.
Well, I guess the
last part of the question.
It's just like what's your opinions on having to check out more commercial aspects to actually make a living?
Well, I'll say this, man. Maybe not everybody has to do that. Maybe it was just my situation. Man, I hope if a guy wants to play jazz that he can. I really do. I really hope that for the guys that want to, because I love it, man. And my personal record collection is filled with it. But man, I just couldn't do it. I mean, I was playing with Red Garland, and James Clay, and they're the best. They're the best in Dallas, man. Red's dead now, but you ain't find no tenor player that's any heavier than James Earl Clay. I mean, he just played on that Art Deco album with Don Cherry and got rave reviews, in Downbeat magazine. So, you know, you're not going to find Kansas any heavier than that. And man, I mean, I was making $25 a night. What are you going to do? You know, I can make 50 over in Fort Worth playing the Big River Cattle Company. Twice the money, half the quarters. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to tell you about that, man. You know, if you want to play jazz, man, go for it. Go to New York. Jump in there, man. Jump in the middle of it, you know. But I went to New York to see one of the greatest musicians ever to come out of this university, Bob Belden. I don't know if anybody knows who that is. Any of you guys familiar with Bob Belden? Great tenor saxophone player. Monster. He's got his own contract on Blue Note label. He's living in an apartment that ain't much bigger than that piano. I shit you not. Here's a guy who's got his own contract on Blue Note Records. But he's dedicated. Bob's dedicated, you know. Inside that apartment is just music books, man, all the way around, and albums. And he can tell you every number of every Blue Note album from like 1953 to today, you know. Number of artists and everything. He's dedicated, man. That's what he wants to do, you know. Me, I got a nice little apartment in Nashville. Got squirrels, got little cardinals, you know. Right in my backyard, you know. Got nice dishes. As you can see, you know. But sometimes I have to play shit music, you know.
But that's why I'm learning how to play it. That's what I'm, you know.
Learning how to play commercial music?
Yeah.
Well, you know, now the things that I learned from Merle were as great in their own right as the things I learned here about playing jazz, you know. But, you know, I mean, there's really no substitute for just getting out there and doing it, you know. Get around some people who are playing it, you know, and start learning some of the tunes, you know. The kind of country music that I'm playing with Merle is what is commonly called traditional, I guess. So, you know, I mean, there's a certain set of standard tunes for that, just like there are for jazz players, or used to be, you know. And I guess some of these tunes we're playing, you guys have certainly played before, right? They're still standards, huh? Yeah. Right. You know, so it's largely the same. I mean, you know, you need to know today I started loving you again, San Antonio Rose, Faded Love, Rolling My Sweet Baby's Arms. You know, you need to know those if you're going to play country gig. Now, I don't know what you'd have to know to play rock and roll, because I don't know anything about it. Except that those guys are just amazing. I don't see how they do this. What the hell is that, man? I can't do that. But anyway, that's about all I know about that. About commercial music. Just get in there, jump in there, and do it, man. You know, that's the only way you're going to learn. Somebody over here, yeah.
How much of your time do you spend in the studio and on the road with free time, percentage-wise?
Okay, well, lately quite a bit in the studio. Surprisingly, I feel really good about this, so I'm going to tell you guys, man, I was in Nashville 8 days and I got my first call for a session, which is kind of rare. I mean, you know, it takes some time there to get to the studio. But lately, quite a bit in the studio. I just finished doing a session with Clint Black's band for some guy who I don't even know his name, but he had 5 songs that he wanted to cut. And I went to the studio. They came and picked me up at my house at 8:30 in the morning, took me out to Nice Breakfast. We went to the studio, worked from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock, broke, went and had a nice lunch, cut back, 2 to 5, recorded 5 tunes, really easy, 3-chord country, you know, but some pretty good tunes, and the guy seemed to pretty much have an idea of what he wanted. I really didn't have to play much. I played one bluegrass kind of thing with my Telecaster, and I got one of those B-bender deals in it. Have you seen those? Really nifty little thing, you know. So I used it, and I played that, and after the session was over, man, I walked outside, and the guy peeled off a couple $100 bills and drove me back home, and there it was there, and I said, man, nice gig. I'd like to do another one of those real soon. You know? So I've been spending quite a bit of time doing those little demo things like that. And it does take some time to get on the masters. I thought that I was going to get to be on Leroy Parnell's record this month. And Leroy called me and wanted me to do the gig, but when it came down to the session going down, Bowen said no, that was going to do it, so I got beat out that. So, not really beat out. I mean, Reggie, don't have nothing to do with it. It's just, it's the A team there, and I'm not on the A team. I haven't been in town long enough, and even if I stay there the rest of my life, I don't know if I'll get on it, So I'm sure hopeful to do. Some guy makes a killing money. I got a friend that's going on the road with Dire Straits this year, Paul Franklin, a steel guitar player. He's making $300,000 working 150 days, 2,000 a year. Pretty nice gig.
Is there more country gigs? More? I mean,
I think there's getting to be more and more all the time, and plus there's a lot of country gigs for the rockabilly-oriented guitar player. Because there's new artists coming up all the time, like Pam Tillis, Carlin Carter, Garth Brooks, Clint Black. They're all opening up, and for that Telecaster, boy, he can, bang some of that Albert Lee stuff out. I'm down there trying to learn a little bit of that. I haven't really got much of it down yet.
Do you get passed around between people like that?
Most of the work that I've done has been for Merle Haggard and Willie Nelson. Those are the two that I've worked with a whole lot. As far as major, you're asking about major artists, right? Yeah, those are the two that I've really worked with. I've worked with a few others, but the main best money out of that. Yeah.
What player do you like to listen to now? Do you still listen to basically the same as you did when you grew up, or do you like?
Yeah, I do. Man, I just, I'm kind of an old. I just love like old Horace Silver, and I like Freddie Haggard. I like all those guys. Wes, yeah.
You play some solo guitar?
Would I play something solo guitar? Yeah, I could try, I guess.